Hi friends, welcome back. You can see the title. Today we're going to talk about 5 foreign horror films that you just need to watch. Let's get straight into it. I can't believe I don't hear more people talking about The House at the End of Time. This is a Venezuelan film that hits hard and it's honestly never left my mind. If you're one for spooky haunted vibes and flawless payoffs, it's well worth a watch. In The House at the End of Time, we follow a mother of 2 who experiences terrifying encounters with apparitions inside of her home, which is prone to tragic events. Then we move forward in time, 30 years later, where our protagonist returns home to decipher the mystery that tormented her for so long. Her aim is to unravel the horror that she could not forget. The House at the End of Time holds the distinction for being the highest earning horror movie in Venezuelan cinema history, and it's also the most widely distributed Venezuelan film globally. Unfortunately, the director's recent horror film, The Exorcism of God, didn't receive anywhere near the same attention or admiration, but drama fantasy horror The House at the End of Time is a film that just shouldn't be missed. Don't look up spoilers, just watch it now and come back and let everyone else know watching this video what you thought in the comments below. Listen up, they haven't finished experiencing the horrors of life. This is a tagline to one of my favorite horror movies of all time. Can you guess what movie it is? Because you'll never forget it. It's Martyrs. Martyrs is a 2008 French-Canadian horror film, and it follows the journey of a young woman seeking revenge against the individuals who abducted and tormented her during childhood. Alongside of another victim of child abuse, they embark on a harrowing and terrifying odyssey into a depraved living nightmare. It is such a hard film to explain. It's one you just need to experience to understand, and it's really told through 3 distinctive acts. The film was shot in Montreal and premiered at the French Film Market in May of 2008. Its graphic and disturbing content provoked walkouts among the audience, and I know this gets said a lot in horror movies, but for this film, I can understand why. In 2017, IGN recognized Martyrs as one of the greatest horror films of all time, ranking it 32nd out of 100 films. Rolling Stone also included the film in their 2021 list of top horror films of the 21st century. The film is one of the most scariest and disturbing movies I've ever seen, and it doesn't lose any of its fucked up magic on a rewatch. The director confessed that he wrote the screenplay for the film in a state of clinical depression, bordering on end-of-life thoughts, which is why the film is said to have such a depressing subject matter. But let's just not talk about the American remake in 2015. And we could talk endlessly, and I really mean endlessly, about all of the French, Canadian, and French horror films, because this is a whole subgenre in itself. They're gritty, they're raw, and they're intense. But I have a whole video on that subject matter, so I'll link that down below. Noroi the Curse, which kind of means the curse, is a dark found footage horror film from Japan. The film follows a paranormal researcher as he investigates supernatural occurrences for his documentary. We learn that strange events surround a woman and a little girl, which leads this documentary filmmaker to uncovering an ancient, cursed, and dark ritual. And as the investigation progresses, the curse spreads. The film combines found footage and pseudo-documentary styles to create a chilling and suspenseful atmosphere. The story unfolds through the recordings of the documentary cameraman, revealing a series of disturbing events and shocking conclusions. And although this film was released during the height of found footage popularity, it's truly unique and masterfully immersive, from its gritty setting to its clever choice of cast, because this film includes various celebrity cameos, including actors portraying themselves. Marika Matsumoto, known for her role in Final Fantasy video games, plays a significant part as herself. This film, although it's a found footage, it's just so different. It's dark and it's gritty, and it didn't receive much praise until years after its initial release, when it became widely available across different streaming platforms. If you're a found footage fan and a fan of international horror, which I assume you are because you're here, do yourself a favor and add it to your list and thank me later. This one just hits different, and if you're prone to nightmares, you might want to sleep with the nightlight on tonight. With all of the talk about the live action remake to The Little Mermaid, I've had a couple of you slide into my DMs asking if there's an equivalent in the horror world, and yes, there is. It's the Polish film called The Lure. This isn't just a dark fantasy horror, it's also a musical. I wasn't joking when I mentioned The Little Mermaid. This one is closer to the original Hans Christian Andersen tale. The film takes place in Warsaw, where a pair of mermaid sisters are adopted into a cabaret nightclub. And while one seeks the love of a human, the other gets a taste for human flesh. The film is a theatrical, gothic tale of love, but it does have a deeper meaning, with the journey being a metaphor for immigrants, symbolizing their mistreatment and struggle for a better life. Besides the intriguing setup, the characters, and deeper tone, the film cuts no costs in achieving the perfect horror mermaid look. The mermaid costumes were 6 feet long and weighed over 22 kilos or 50 pounds. For this film, they looked into popular references of mermaids in films and television and went for a whole new vision, with the director claiming that they were designed to look repulsive. The Lure is a must-watch for any horror fan with a fascination with mermaids. It's a hypnotizing, tragic, and sometimes bizarre journey that honestly is the equivalent of eating flounder as sashimi. Tigers Are Not Afraid is a Mexican horror fantasy mystery that delves into a dark fairy tale brought to life. It follows the harrowing tale of a gang of 5 children who must confront real-life horrors of cartel violence and dark entities that arise from the relentless drug war. At the heart of the story is a 10-year-old girl with 3 wishes, and when her first wish comes true with a sinister twist, she seeks solace, joining a gang of orphaned children, only to discover that in a world consumed by brutality and violence, wishes rarely manifest as intended. What unfolds is a chilling exploration of survival and the unrelenting presence of the past. The film is a heartfelt, emotional horror that's heightened by the child cast, who had no prior acting experience. They only received workshops with an acting coach before filming. The movie was also shot in chronological order, and they withheld the script from the child actors to capture their genuine reactions to haunting events that unfold. It results in a raw and powerful story that blends the line between real-life horrors and childhood trauma, and it earns its spot here as a horror film that all fans should watch at least once. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Have you seen all of these films? Let me know down below, and let me know what your favorite must-watch non-English horror movie is down below. I would love to read it. Bonus points if I haven't watched it yet. As you know from this list, I love trying to pick ones you haven't seen. Just give you at least one new one to add to that to watch list. If you do like what I do here on YouTube, I'd love you to subscribe. And thank you to my patrons for making this video possible. I'll see you all in the next one very soon. Stay safe and stay spooky. Bye, friends.